Dhul Qarnayn said, "This is a mercy from my Lord, but when the promise of my Lord comes, He will make it level, and ever is the promise of my Lord true." Meaning when the day of judgment comes, that's the promise of Allah. This is mighty and strong right now, but on the day of judgment, it's all going to be pulled to pieces. And we know that before the day of judgment, Gog and Magog are going to breach this barrier and cause corruption upon the earth. There's a lot said about Gog and Magog. Quran and Sunnah tells us that they are two nations who live in the eastern part of the earth. They were a people who are very violent and who attacked people a lot. Dhul Qarnayn seems to have blocked their way from coming out by using this technology. But before the day of judgment, they will breach the barrier. They will come out. Authentic hadith tells us that they will cause much bloodshed. They will cause much corruption on the earth, and that they will drink the waters of the rivers and the seas. So they will cause war, bloodshed, and drought of water. What are the lessons from the story of Dhul Qarnayn? Very important lessons, especially applicable to the time that we live in. Allah praises a king who is mighty, who has military might, who has many resources, and he uses his resources to travel throughout the land, to discover new lands. But whenever he conquers them, he never plunders their wealth, he never kills the people, he never destroys their relics, he does not cause distress to such people. What does he do? He helps them to help themselves. He gives of the technology that he has to the people, and he is just as a leader and a ruler to them. If you study history, you will see that war and conquest are part of life. They're part of history. It's always happened that way. But what the Quran and Islamic teachings teach us is that when you conquer a land, do not be unjust with the people. Bring good to those people. And as an individual, it also teaches us that when we have resources, it could be the resource of knowledge, of technology, of anything that we have, any type of resource that we have been given, then we should also in our lives use the resources we have in our personal life in a positive manner to benefit ourselves and others as well. 4 stories in Surah Al-Kahf. Just a quick recap. The first story was about Iman, faith, belief. The second was about wealth. The third was about knowledge, and the fourth was about power or resource. 4 very powerful things that we have been given in this life. And it is upon us that we should protect these 4 things as well, whether it's our Iman, our wealth, our knowledge, our power. How do we protect them? Iman is protected by keeping it pure from shirk, of any type of association with Allah. Our wealth is protected when we earn it and use it the way Allah wants us to. Then we can earn it and spend it in the right ways. We can have as much as we want. Our knowledge is protected when we don't become arrogant with that knowledge. And power or resources are protected when we do not become unjust with them. Otherwise, it's a source of punishment. We are taught that each has been given to us for a limited time. We know that each is given to us for a limited time. Iman, meaning the life upon this earth, to live with Iman, is for a limited time. So are all the other things. The test is how we behave with it, and for each the hereafter is awaiting. And we will leave them that day surging over each other, and then the horn will be blown, and we will assemble them in one assembly. And we will present hell that day to the disbelievers on display, those whose eyes had been within a cover removed from my remembrance, and they were not able to hear. Meaning they weren't able to hear the Qur'an. You can only respond to something when you hear it. If you don't hear the caller calling you, you're never going to respond. But these people never heard the call. Then do those who disbelieve think that they can take my servants instead of me as allies? Indeed, we have prepared hell for the disbelievers as a lodging. قُلْ هَلْ نُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِالْأَخْسَرِينَ أَعْمَالًا. Say, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, shall we inform you of the greatest losers as to their deeds? They are those whose effort is lost in worldly life, while they think that they are doing well in work. Those are the ones who disbelieve in the verses of their Lord and in their meeting to Him. So their deeds have become worthless, and we will not assign to them on the day of resurrection any weight. Simple concept. Whatever a person does only for the dunya is not given to him any form of reward in the hereafter, no matter how beautiful, how fruitful that is in the world. That is their recompense, hell, for what they denied, and because they took my signs and my messengers in ridicule. Indeed, those who have believed and done righteous deeds, they will have the gardens of paradise as a lodging. خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا لَا يَبْغُونَ عَنْهَا حِوَلًا, wherein they abide eternally. They will not desire from it any transfer. Meaning that there will be no boredom, no desire to leave paradise. There's no such place in the dunya, no such feeling, it's just not possible here in this world. We're always bored. Have you noticed everything, we eventually become bored with it. Even the best of company, the best place, the best food, the best clothing, everything, eventually we become bored. But in the hereafter, in paradise, boredom will no longer exist. قُلْ لَوْ كَانَ الْبَحْرُ مِدَادًا لِكَلِمَاتِ رَبِّي. Say, if the sea were ink for writing the words of my Lord, the sea would be exhausted before the words of my Lord were exhausted, even if we brought the like of it as a supplement. قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ. Say, I am only a man like you, to whom has been revealed that your God is but one God. I am a man like you, the only difference, I receive revelation. So whoever would hope for the meeting with his Lord, let him do righteous work and not associate in the worship of his Lord anyone. Not associate with Allah an idol, a person, their own ego, desires, jinn, angels, whatever it may be. Do purely for the sake of Allah. Any deed that is done purely for the sake of Allah has steadfast and firmness in it.